Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 2090 of What You Up To Now, documenting the journey originally as I went from the brick and mortar corporate world of businesses to the online world, and then sharing for 2090 days. I missed a day here and a day there. What's working, what's not, what I effed up totally, what went super duper well that surprised the daylights out of me, the rabbit holes I've gone down that were just a complete waste of time, and some of the lessons that I've learned along the way, because I can save and help one person from making the mistakes I've made. That's a faster track for you. It's a faster track for that person to create what it is that you want in your life. I finally got a cup of coffee. So today for Supersize Your Business, I do an idiom every day. And I started doing it originally when I was moving, and it worked out really well when I was traveling and literally moving homes. But when I travel, it works out really well too, because I always have a topic, or I always have a theme of what I'm going to talk about and how it impacts, or how it could possibly impact, what it means, where it came from, and how it could impact growing and building and supersizing your business. Because I work with predominantly business owners. Most of my coaching and consulting these days is with people that are growing and building and supersizing their own businesses. And so I share an idiom, and today's was dealing with these little strange gold, usually gold, but sometimes silver canisters that would appear and always were in our pantry growing up as girls. My mom loves smoked oysters. So we always had these cans and smoked oysters around the house because she liked to eat them. I think they're gross, but that's just me. We all like things and don't like different things. I've never been an oyster eater. It's not my thing. Even smoked ones. My sister liked the slimy ones on the half shell. One of my sisters, I think she's the only one that likes them. And my mom was always a smoked oyster eater. Me, more of a pickled herring fan like my dad was. So our idiom today was oysters. The world is your oyster. I love this idiom, even though I don't like oysters, because it reminds me and all of us that we have all kinds of possibilities, and that just because we've taken and made decisions in one area and that's given us results in our life going in one direction, doesn't mean we can't stop, pivot, turn around, move, do something different, get a different job so often. And really, I think this affects the vast majority of people on the planet. I could be wrong, so let me know if I am. But it felt to me as I was going through my life and my career that I was doing stuff really differently, and it felt wrong because it was different, right? Different is not wrong. We need to get to the point as human beings that we embrace our differences and our uniqueness and our strengths, and realize that everybody's different. So how can different be wrong? It absolutely positively is not. Different is actually what makes our world an incredible and amazing place every single day. So if we embrace our differences, and we build on the things that we have in common, we build on our similarities, but we have to embrace and love the things that are different about us too, because otherwise we'd be a bunch of little robot drones going through life, and how boring would that be? So our idiom today was the world is your oyster, and it reminds us that we can change our mind, that we can create the life that we want, but we have to be brave enough to step out of our comfort zone to do that most of the time, right? And the more locked into a career path or a relationship or something we get, the more resistant we are to making changes. I think if we as humans can embrace change and love change, because it's inevitable. It's like you can't be afraid of death because it's inevitable. We're all going to die. So if you're wasting any time and energy being afraid of it, you're wasting time and energy that you could be putting into living your life. The same is true of change. If you are resisting change and hating change and never wanting to do anything differently. Now, I know we need to have routines and habits that help us, live our lives, but we also need to embrace the differences and the changes. And when our habits don't go right, when our morning routine gets totally blown up, we have to be okay with that. Our topic today for this year's annual challenge, the Get Your Goals annual challenge, is figuring out the best way, or choosing the best way for us to contribute and somehow make the world a better place. This month's goal challenge is all about the area of contribution. How do we contribute? How do we show up in the world? How do we set an example versus a warning in our life? And guess what? A lot of people inadvertently, by not choosing, decide to be a warning for other people of how not to live their life, right? But we're one or the other. We're either an example of how to do things and how to be a good example for other people that they can emulate and copy and learn from, or we're showing them that, by default, you're just living your life, that's a choice, right? By not making decisions, by not participating, by me, I consciously choose not to participate in things that don't make me feel good or that actually make me feel bad. That's a conscious choice. And I didn't make that choice till 2010, which was, when I had my sudden cardiac arrest. I decided I gave myself permission to choose not to participate in things that were bad for me or didn't feel right for me. Prior to that, I just did what I thought everybody else thought I should do, right? How other people thought I should be a good mom or a good business owner or a good wife or a good whatever. And that belief system didn't serve me very well. So that was my lesson to learn in life. We all have our own set of lessons and things that we're going to learn throughout our lifetime. And the faster I've learned now that the faster I learn the lesson in the experiences that I have and the results that I get, the faster I move on and grow as a human being and create the results I actually want in my life. So we're talking about contribution and building on our strengths and our passions in order to determine what contribution areas to choose to participate in. So I choose things that I'm going to do this exercise today with everybody else. What are my strengths? What are my areas of hobbies and interests and passions? What am I passionate about? What causes make me feel like I want to help them and I want to be a part of that, right? You're never going to see me protesting against anything. I'm not going to, there's things that I hate that are in the world. I don't like evil. I hate that evil's in the world, but it is inherent. We live in a polar universe where there's good and evil. So I choose to not participate in the evil. Now, I do make comments on social media sometimes about politics, which is predominantly evil, right? In a lot of ways. It's selfish and greedy and all kinds of things. My opinion, of course. So I need to choose more often not to participate in that. But for the most part, I choose not to participate in any of the things that make me feel bad. And that would be one. That's why I don't watch the news. It's why I don't go on social media sites that are all about things that make me upset. I don't want to participate in those. So what strengths do I have? What passions do I have? And how am I going to use them to make the world a better place? Because I personally believe that we are here on this planet to have a positive impact on humanity and on the universe and the world. And so how am I and how are each and every one of us going to do that? I show up every day, and that's part of how I hopefully intentionally make the world a better place. That's it. If I can help you in any way, hit me up. I am going to see the solar eclipse today in Texas with 4 of my great nieces and nephews, maybe only 3. One might go with her grandma and her great-great-grandma, my mom, to help out at an organization called St. Vincent de Paul, which is their way of contributing and making the world a better place. I like to do that and volunteer there when I come down, which is part of why I wanted to look more at physically interacting and volunteering in certain causes and projects going forward. And that's what I'm focusing on this month as I'm going through the Get Your Goals Annual Challenge with the area of contribution in mind. All right. If I can help in any way, ask. You can always Voxer me at pajamagrandma@gmail.com. Otherwise, Google me, search me, find me. It's not that hard. I do not have a WhatsApp. I probably will never have a WhatsApp. So don't ask me to join that. That's one I keep getting hit up for. And I'm like, no, something I'm not going to deal with. Texting for me visually is a challenge. So I don't want to do things like that make my life harder, right? Doesn't feel right for me. So I'm not going to do it. Good luck to the people that love it. All right. Have an awesome day. And I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow.